Okay, now this is Colleen's story.
At the pediatric clinic, and again, you can see with some of these slides how there are a lot of people all waiting and waiting and waiting. This one little girl in the yellow dress came, and I'm not sure, just for ear infection or something like that. But she was severely burned. Her arm was burned, her leg was burned, not recent burns, so these were scars from previous burns. Well, Kelly, one of the people from Doylestown, you can't see as well, but she is burned from here all the way down. You can see a portion of this. Her burn was she was cooking and something happened. She had a glove on, so all of this portion was burned. Her neck is burned, her leg underneath the skirt is. When this little girl came in, Deb, the nurse practitioner, said, "Kelly, we want you to see this little girl." She came up and showed this little girl, just sat down next to her, how she too was burned, almost in the exact same places. And this child, you can see her little bright eyes. Her eyes just lit up, and you know, she gave Kelly a fist pump. I mean, it was the neatest thing in the world, just for her to, but now everyone around was kind of very tearful to see that just someone sharing that similarity with this small child just brightened her day. And, you know, and Kelly as well. She said, "I think this is why I was supposed to come," you know, just to share that. So there were some very heartwarming things.
These are home visits. Dr. Joe went out into the people's homes, the people that could not make it to the clinic. So he went out and made house calls. These are some of the people that he saw.
And they found that when they were coming to see one, that all of a sudden a lot of other family members would be there as well for their own private visit, and he was a trip.
One of our interpreters, and you want to tell more story? One of our interpreters, Johnny, he was so proud of his family. He kept saying, come meet my family. I want you to meet my family. So we said, okay. Well, little did we know how we would have to walk, but this is part of getting to his house. Now, if you look at this, can you see this concrete? This is the kind of floor. That's when you ask about the church and that's basically, it is. But this is one person's house, this is another person's house. You could literally put your arm out and you would have your hand inside someone else's house. It was bizarre.
And I think this was the last day of our clinic visits on Thursday, so there were probably 6 or 7 of us that wanted to go see Johnny and his mother and the family. And that's when we saw the raw sewage.
This is raw sewage. That pipes just drain in there. Part of that, this is all walking to his house. These are all like houses.
And they were very protective. You really had to be cautious when you stopped to take a picture. And I think the interpreters that were with us said they did not want us to, so we would kind of sneak in to do it.
This is still part of walking. I love this picture. This is Dr. Joe walking with one of the boys. And this is just part of their lifestyle and more of the raw sewage. This is Johnny's family. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but if you look right here, his mother lost her leg in the earthquake. And they're on a bed. When you go into Johnny's house, first when we walked up there, the girls, they were all doing their hair. Well, it was just one of those silver metal basins with water, and that's how they're washing the hair. I couldn't imagine a teenage girl here washing their hair. But when we got there, they were so proud. They were so happy. There was one bed. It was not even as big as a twin bed. And that was like the only room. So I'm sure this is the mother and a couple of his sisters, and that was another little sister. I'm sure they all slept on that bed because there was nowhere else for them to be. So the whole family. But she was happy.
And this physician has been there multiple times. Loud Italian, just nothing really phases him at all. And he said he really wasn't quite ready for her to just throw her stump up over on his legs. So I thought of any of the people, that was probably the best one for her to do. And you know, with this having been just the 5th anniversary of the earthquake, Johnny on Facebook, I think we were supposed to be cautious of who we were Facebook friends with, but hey, he's on mine. He wrote the neatest story about the day of the earthquake, I guess in memory and stuff of the mom. And I don't know if there was a dad involved or not, but the mom, of how she had gone to work, wherever that might have been, in this pretty red dress, and she didn't come home at the time that she was supposed to, and then he was trying to contact the hospital or whatever. And long story short, that's how he located his mom. And I don't know what the chaos was like in the aftermath of it, but he was so proud. He was so proud of this. It was just amazing.
That was like really exciting, I thought too, when he was saying how proud he was. You know, how many times do I say, oh, let me do the dishes before you come over, you know, whatever. It was humble, but he was so proud of his family, and rightly so.